Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another speed build. If you do like this build and if you are enjoying my videos lately on my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss one of my videos. It supports me out and I am so desperate. I am on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So if you can get me any closer, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, the speed build that we are doing today is one that I have never done before. And in the UK, we would call this a farm. So it would be generally farms where you can go and kids can like pet the animals, or you just go and look at the animals. It's called a farm. So I think they tend to be something farm. So it could be like, I don't know, if somebody's surname is Smith, it could be like Smith's Farm. Whereas I think in America and other parts of the world, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think in other parts of the world you would call this a petting zoo, which for us a zoo is like completely different. So a zoo would have animals like giraffes, elephants, monkeys, those kinds of animals, whereas this we would call a farm because it would have farm animals like pigs, horses, goats, sheep, those kinds of genre of animals. What a weird thing to say. But yeah, so I actually built this with memories of a little farm that my parents used to take me to growing up. My favourite animal to go and see at the farm is not in The Sims 4, annoyingly. So I used to enjoy going and seeing the pigs. They were the smelliest. You'd walk into their area and it would be the smelliest. If you went and there were piglets there, it was always so cute. So yeah, no pigs unfortunately in The Sims 4, but I have made different sections for all of the animals that we do have available. So we obviously now have horses, we've got cows, we've got llamas, sheeps, goats, and chickens. So I've given them all their separate areas, and I do plan to playtest this. I haven't playtested it yet, but I thought if you lot wanted me to, let me know down in the comment section below. But I thought if you wanted me to, I could do a video playtesting it where we could run our very own farm or petting zoo or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be complicated if I shift between the two of them. But I'm going to call it farm because I'm from the UK and that's what we would call something like this. But as I say, we've got our different animal sections. I then have a separate building for the toilets. We've got like an entry building as well, which again is what I am remembering from when I was a child. I've also done a little like play area for kids as well. As the farm that I used to go to, I remember there was like a play area, there was like a tractor that you could climb all over. You could also go on tractor rides as well around the farm, which I used to love. Who knew that I'd marry a farmer? Well, he's not a farmer now, but my boyfriend actually has farmer roots. He grew up in a farming family and he did farming as a job up until he became an engineer like 6 years ago. I mean, he did aerospace engineering in university because he wanted to become a pilot. But he then got a job at McLaren and now works with supercars. So completely different. But yeah, no, he was a farmer. So he did do farming as a job. And then when he became an engineer, he stopped. But he loves it. He's always saying how he'd love to go back and like do farming again. I don't think he ever will, but it's like basically the farm that he used to work on is run by a family, and he can always go back and like do Saturdays and stuff like that if they ever need the help. So he might go and do that. Where am I going? Sorry, I always go off on a tangent and I forget the original thing that I was saying. That was it. Yeah, so who knew? Me enjoying going to the farm, riding the tractors, seeing all the animals and whatnot, that I'd end up marrying somebody that like has farmer roots. Anyway, the farm that I remember was had a play area for kids, which is why I've included that. There was a little like entryway, like an entry building, I believe, where you would show like you'd pay, I think. You know what, my brain is so bad nowadays, I can't fully remember. but I think there was like an entry area where you would like pay entry and then you'd go through. There was like hand sanitizer as well everywhere, you know, if you're petting the animals and you needed to hand sanitize. And this was all before COVID. I'm talking like when I was like very young. Weirdly enough as well, the farm that I'm thinking of, my brother actually broke his arm there. So when we were younger, mum, like my dad was working in London. So, you know, on half terms and stuff, my mum and like other mums that we were I was friends with their kids and my brother was friends with like their older siblings. There was like a group of my friends that also had brothers in the same year, and then our mums became friends. And in the half terms when all the dads were like still working and stuff, the mums would take us to like places like the farm that we used to go to. And one of the times, I think I was really young, because mum had like a buggy, a pushchair, a stroller that you might call it in America. My mum had one of those, and my brother was playing on like a tree, and like, you know, these trees where they sort of go off like that, and it wasn't that far off the ground. It was like the tree trunks were like that basically, and my brother was playing and like jumped out of the tree. Like it was, I'm talking like, say this is the ground, it was probably like maybe that far off the ground, so not a lot. And his foot got stuck and he ended up breaking his arm. And yeah, luckily I've never broken anything, but my brother was a bit more adventurous than me. He's a lot more outgoing and extroverted, whereas I can be, I would say I am a extroverted introvert. In the right situation, I can be extroverted, but I also can be very introverted. Anyway, back to the farm. The build is coming along quite nicely now. We're at a stage where I am lighting up the business. I am not the type of person, and it might be really annoying for you lot to watch, but I am not the type of person where I focus on one thing at a time and I get one thing done and then I move on to the next thing. I am someone that I like do everything at the same time. So I like start on one thing and then we're going over here and we're doing something over here and then we're back over here. So it might be really annoying to watch, but hopefully you lot are still able to kind of follow along with the build process. And I really enjoyed building this. I actually built it when I was feeling really poorly. You might still be able to hear it in my voice, but I'm still getting I'm getting over a flu-y cold type thing, which I always end up getting like a sinusy cold whenever I get a cold, and like my ears get blocked. I'm like coughing for ages. I get like headache, like sinusy headaches, and it's always so annoying. I never used to get them, but anyway, I did this build while I was feeling so poorly. And I didn't want to do my gameplay because I thought, you know what, I'm not in any good mood to be playing chaotic super sim right now, so why not build a farm or a petting zoo? So yeah, built this when I wasn't feeling that well, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, to be fair. I wanted to add like a little toy store if people wanted to buy things from the shelves, because I remember, yeah, going to the farm or even going to like the zoo, and there was always like a gift shop and you could buy a toy or a plush toy of your favourite animal. We recently actually took Nelly to, well, not recently, last year, end of last year, to the Cotswold Wildlife Park, which I believe is the only dog-friendly zoo or wildlife park, whatever you want to call it. The only dog-friendly one in the UK. If you are watching from the UK and you have a dog, I would highly recommend taking them. Nelly had such a good time that you got to see like all the animals. There were giraffes, there were lions, rhinos as well, all sorts of animals. There were certain parts that dogs couldn't go into, which was totally fair enough. But yeah, she had a great time and it was really fun watching her. So I'd highly recommend it if you ever find yourself in the Cotswolds. But the roundabout point and what I was trying to say is that when we went to that, Nelly absolutely loved the giraffes. And we ended up getting her a little, in the gift shop before we left, we got her a little giraffe toy, and there's a video of her like trotting out of the gift shop holding her giraffe toy. It was so cute. We had the best day. And yeah, I can't wait to have kids of my own one day. Not that I'm having them anytime soon. I was going to say, like, I'm only 26, and not that age comes into it, but I just I don't know if anyone around my age feels like this, but I still feel like a child myself. And yeah, I'm not saying that age like matters when you have kids. Like people I know, like some people that I went to school with have kids now, or even at 18 had kids, and that's totally fair enough. But it's just not for me just yet. I'm nowhere near ready to have kids. My ideal timeline, and like I'm not a very like traditional person as per se, but I kind of like, I do want to have things like a house first, because gosh, houses cost so much money. So I want to like, and weddings cost a lot of money as well. So I want to spend that money and also like enjoy being young. Enjoy being young while we can. You know, save up for a house, save up for a wedding, and then save up for a kid. Because yeah, kids cost a lot. I don't want to do it when we're not ready, and yeah, there's just a lot I want to do first before I have to. And at the minute, I can hardly look after myself, let alone a kid. But you know, one day Alex and I would like to have kids. So the idea of like taking them to places like this, and you know, just it's really cute. We've our godson Theo, he is, how old is he now? He's actually 2.5 years old, gosh. And we recently went, not recently, but in the UK there's a place called Legoland, which as a kid I used to love going to. Like it was always the best day out. And for Theo's dad's birthday last year or the year before, we got them tickets to go to Legoland. And they kindly invited us along. They were like, obviously you gave us these tickets, we'd love you to come along with us. So yeah, we went and it was us and Theo. His little sister was not born at that point. And it was so fun. It was so cute seeing him on the little rides and just like hanging out with him. So it would be nice to like take him to places like this as well, because he loves animals too. He's got 2 dogs of his own. And yeah, it's just so cute, you know? And I think it's so different, like seeing kids enjoy places like this as well. It's such a different experience as to like going as an adult, do you know what I mean? So yeah, as I said earlier, I tried to build this place in a way that I sort of remember going to these places. And what I will say is, you know, the farms that I went to growing up, or the main farm that I went to growing up, the areas for the animals was a lot bigger than what I have given them. And yeah, they had a lot more space to roam around, a lot more freedom. But you're just limited for space. You are limited for space in The Sims 4. So I did what I can. And I gave them as well, like enough areas. Like for example, the cow shed, I made sure like they had the perimeter, because it would chop in or cut into the fence. So realistically it doesn't look like they have a lot of space, but yeah, it's fine. It's The Sims, it's not real life. But I also wanted to add like a little like an area where you could buy coffees and stuff as well. So where the gift store was, like a little takeaway kind of coffee, tea, hot chocolate place too, because places like this do generally have like a little cafe, a sit-down cafe. So I did put like seating outside, you know, like picnic tables and stuff. I remember when we were younger, what used to happen would be that we'd bring a picnic. So, you know, you've got the option of going to the cafe and having that, but we used to bring a picnic along. So mum would like pack sandwiches and, you know, like all the little picnicky things that you can imagine, like mini sausage rolls, like cocktail sausages, that sort of thing. And we'd have like a little picnic with our friends. And that was always fun as well. I've got like such fond memories of yeah, going to the farm. I'm actually really excited to try this out, to be honest with you. I've run a few businesses now since the new pack came out. Again, like I'm finding so many new business ideas to try and to run. So we have done, we've done a candy store, we've done a dog/cat cafe, I've run a toy/gaming store, I've done a daycare, a hostel. What else have we done? Oh, in my Sims in Bloom challenge, Mariette, she's currently running like basically a farm store. So it's not quite this, but on where she lives, like the farm that she lives on, she is running a store where she's selling the produce that she makes. So the various nectar that she's making. She crafts woodworking objects, so she's selling those. She's also selling milk from her cow. We haven't yet sold the canning things, the jars that she was doing, but that's the plan. So yeah, a bit different to this, but sort of similar in a way. Whereas I'm really looking forward to this. I think there's, you know, interactions that you can add for the business where they go and they care for the animals or they pet the animals, I think. I've actually not looked into it, so I hope that this works out in the way that I'm kind of wanting it to work out. But I have seen a couple of other people like building a petting zoo, so hopefully it does work out. I will definitely do a gameplay video after this one where we'll playtest this and we'll essentially run our own farm, run our own petting zoo, just to confirm and see whether it does work. I know a couple of people were talking about running like horse riding classes and stuff, but I then have seen comments where others have said that the horse riding classes didn't actually work and people weren't like riding the horses, they weren't doing it. So I don't know. Are there any businesses that you're yet to try out that you want to try out? Let me know down in the comments. Or are there any sort of niche businesses that you've tried and they've actually worked really, really well? Let me know also. I'm intrigued to see what kind of businesses other people are running. When it got to the end of this build, I was like, okay, now that we've got the basic bits down, I wanted to add like extra details, like, you know, fire exit signs and just little bits around, like even like feeding stalls and buckets of food and like pails of water, is that the right phrase? I wanted to add little bits like that in the areas for the animals, little grass tufts as well that you can get in cottage living. Debug has actually been great for this build. It's been a lifesaver. So I utilised that, and yeah, I just wanted to add all of those little finite details that you might not sort of notice, but they're there. I also really liked the idea of including a kids area too. I don't know how much The Sims will use it. And if I'll see when we are setting up the business, but if we've got enough, because you can only have 5 business activities, so if we've got enough to put like kids play on the playground or whatever. But I liked that idea because I've got such fond memories of me and my friends like playing at the playground at the farm and, you know, going and seeing the animals and like feeding the little baby lambs with milk and, you know, that sort of thing, and like seeing the little piglets. And there were other animals there as well. I think at one point I remember seeing like little chicks, and I think there might have been a reptile section, which I didn't include. I kind of just, I mean, we don't even, do we have reptiles in The Sims 4? I mean, you've got those animals that are in the, like there's frogs and stuff, isn't there? But I don't think, yeah. I just included the basic animals. Well, not basic, I'm not saying that like cows are basic, but the animals that are there that I could like think that would be on a farm. And this is pretty much the build coming together. This is how it turned out. So at the front entryway, you've got like the pathway leading up to the main entrance. You've got your car park on the left, kids play area on the right, and then as you come in, you've got the tills to check in where people will pay. Whether we do a one pay rate or an hourly rate, I don't know. On the left is a staff area with the till. On the right, you've got the food area where you can pay to get coffees and whatnot. And I've also added a display case where we can cook food and put it in there for people to pay as well. And then going through the actual farm, we have got the chickens on the left, an area for a cow. We've got a horse area where, you know, someone's going to be able to come and maybe ride them around the barrels. And the area with the walls and roof is for the sheep and the goats. And then the hut right at the end will be for a llama. Then we've got the toilets, and just in the middle, an area for people to sit, have a picnic, just sit and chit chat, have a drink or whatever. And that is pretty much how our farm, how our petting zoo turned out. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Once again, as I said earlier, subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and turn on those post notifications if you have not already. And don't forget, if you are planning on buying the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack or any other Sims packs for that matter, you can use my EA creator code, which is Tazkabaz. Let me know if you are buying them and using my creator code down in the comment section below. And thank you again to the EA Creator Network for providing me with the code for the pack. Also, let me know if you'd like to see me playing in this petting zoo. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Take care, look after yourselves, and I will see you next time. Taz out.